Multifamily Weekend Update with your hosts, Justin Dilley and Eric Sharp.
Good morning, good afternoon to everyone
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Eric. You ready for the weekend?
I am ready for the weekend. I'm excited for the weekend because next week's going to be busy, my friend. This is our last episode in double digits.
Right. We graduate to triple digits, and we'll have a guest on he can make fun of that. But we're going to drop a few quotes on who our guest is going to be next week. But
a mystery guest.
The first clue is somebody who can make fun of our triple digits. So that's your first clue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're so tall. How do I get up to your level here?
Eric, that's a question you could ask me virtually, but also in person.
Holy!
I don't have that many more inches on you, but a few.
All right. What's going on?
Let's start it off with the little Indianapolis history, which I'm sure you were excited about.
Absolutely. For every time I've never been to Indianapolis.
Oh, there's some good steakhouses there. You got to go.
I definitely would have done that back when I ate steak.
I know. You can just go and watch other people enjoy it.
Free smells. Well, it looks like if I was smelling this, I would probably need to blow my nose, though. What's going on here?
Smell some dust. Yeah. So this is an image from 1908 of when the Indianapolis Speedway opened up, which is home to the Indy 500 for the racing fans out there. I've gone to a few racetrack events. Being from the Midwest, I've been to one down here in the South in Alabama. Have you been to any of the races?
I have been to one or two races before in Detroit area, though. They were there's a nice F1 race at Belle Isle at one point.
Yeah. So today, August 14th, 1908, this started. Obviously, the auto racing industry, the racing industry has changed a lot because of technology. And there's no way that we could relate this to multifamily at all. Actually, there is.
Or is
one way. There's probably tons of ways. But I think one of the ways is that, like laps and kind of the strategy behind laps, you don't, as you're going around, if you're talking to racers or whatever, they change how they approach each lap. And they're not always, number one isn't always the front runner every single lap because of different strategy. And that's sort of the idea of, any company, any sales team, anything. Every time you're doing a new deal, every time you're getting a new lease, every time you're acquiring a new property, it's another start at the lap, and you might approach it a little different, and you maybe have to do something different because of your wheel, or you may have to do something. You know what I mean? Like it's
you're
changes.
You're collecting data, right? Like you're seeing things happen live. You're collecting data, and ultimately analyze it and saying, okay, next time around we're gonna, we want more rubber on the road or less rubber on the road, right? We want to add more gas, so we have to do less laps, but less laps or more laps in between gassing up, filling up, right? But it's it's a challenge.
Right. It is
a challenge doing racing, and in our world, we don't get the data in within seconds or minutes. Sometimes the data is lagging, very much so.
Right. And there's so many elements, just the same as, a racetrack, right? You're dealing with weather, you're dealing with mechanisms, you're dealing with lots of things that can alter what's going on. Same thing's true. There's lots of challenges, different, the economy, different ways of employees, crazy stuff. All right. Let's dig into the news.
Yeah. Well, a bunch of folks, definitely got pole position recently. The Inc. 5000 announced their top 5,000 fastest growing companies. And there's a couple names you might recognize, like PetScreening. You want to take?
Is that the only one you know?
Do you want to? I mean, you're wearing a pink shirt, so I figured you might want to take the next one.
Funnel?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, this shirt, by the way, is from the race that never happened at Apartmentalize because of the tornado.
Oh yeah, got
so so a lot of people have them. They did nothing to earn them. They just sat in their hotel room and avoided the tornado. Anyway,
Thompson Thrift,
MRI, Foxen's on there, right?
Foxen, Dojo Networks, ApproveShield, NetVendor. I know the Airwave also got on the list as well.
Yeah, I mean, scan that QR code because you can actually see it's a lot of companies on that. So we're talking the Inc. 5000 list, not the Indy 500 list. That's a different list. Scan it. There's a lot of multifamily folks on it.
This is true. Well,
on to the
some
next.
more fun news happened this week. RealWorld.
Yeah, this is the true story of several hundred strangers, users and partners. They're brought together in Denver to learn, collaborate, and shape the future of multifamily. And if you want to find out what happens when people stop being polite and start getting real, you should check some of these posts out.
I like it. I like it. This is technically Dirk is back in the saddle here. Dirk.
Did we get a confessional from him? Was there a confessional? Was he
definitely came up with some changes. So first of all, a couple things. I've heard some great things about Dirk. Lots of folks are saying, they're happy to have him at the helm. And RealPage did announce, maybe they didn't announce it, but they're just started to use it. They have recently launched a new kind of like refreshed brand, refreshed logo here. And this was demonstrated at RealWorld.
Is that live footage of the demonstration?
It's
probably more. There's probably a discussion going on here, and the new logo's there, right?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
This is probably the maybe Dirk stepping on stage for the beginning of the conference.
Yeah.
But
so, question as a logo person. What do you think? I know a lot of companies have moved away from this, and now we're getting a lot of text-based logos, right?
Yeah. We call that a font type logo in this case. So one thing you'll actually notice is that RealPage is one word now. It is no longer RealPage. The P is capitalized in the previous logo. Now it is a single word, RealPage.
Yeah. And I'm also noticing, at least the images I've seen, it's black and white. Like there's no orange. I don't see any orange in the. There
is no more orange. Really.
I mean, I don't know if that is.
Existence.
I don't know if that's going to go across everything. But when you're looking at these, Yardy blues, Entrada reds, I don't know, Appfolio's blue, MRI's blue. There's a lot of colors.
There's going to be accent colors, so they're going to continue to use the orange in their accent colors. I don't think they're moving away from that, but ultimately, Justin, I think that RealPage is trying. They're trying to grow their brand, right? I mean, at the end of the day, any brand is what your customers perceive, your prospects perceive of your product and service. And the reason why we often do a rebrand is because we feel that we've outgrown what our customers currently view us as, and you need to make that change. So fortunately for companies like Coca-Cola, they've gone through rebrands throughout the years, but it usually takes decades for them to change it because you think Coca-Cola, you're thinking, literally the product, Coca-Cola, refreshments, beverage, taking a break.
Yeah.
Maybe mixing drinks, right? But they don't have to redo their brand very often. They redo the product logos, but they don't have to redo the main company brand. So that's what RealPage is doing here.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I know companies do this a lot. Obviously, there's a simplistic sense to it, which is when you get into technology, right? That's something you want to keep it clean and simple. That's people are moving away from complicated, tech stacks and
Yeah.
all of that. So that makes a lot of sense. Cool.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Well, let's
Move on.
talk about some other industry highlights here. What the heck? Oh, look at this. This is we're still racing.
That's modern day Indianapolis Motor Speedway with some industry highlights up there. The first one I'll let you talk about. There's a merger. We always love mergers, right?
Yeah, this is 100% true. There's a merger between Connexus and ASM. Essentially just end to end. This has to do with just your ancillary services, right? ASM being on that side of the equation, whereas Connexus is more about procurement and the management behind this. And now this is sort of a full end solution between discovering what you might need to managing the procurement, the billing, things of that nature. So congratulations to Connexus and ASM.
Yeah, even in the dog days of summer, we haven't gone a month for sure. We haven't gone more than 2 or 3 weeks without some kind of merger or acquisition since January.
No,
we've definitely not gone a full month, that's saying something.
Yep. Yeah. So I did speak with Devin Wirt earlier this week about the merger, and essentially he's excited about the merger here. Andrew Smith is the president of ASM, and his quote. Well, I can quote either of them, but I'll say Andrew Smith said, "By combining our ancillary services expertise with Connexus and their innovative platform, they're simplifying the procurement and contract management process."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's about giving real estate teams just a smarter and more efficient way to strengthen their bottom line. Great.
Good stuff.
All right, we hit rock bottom. What happened?
Well, Jay Parsons pointed that out with a question mark, right? I mean, it's not a definitive statement, but in comparing data from July 2025 and July 2026, and also looking at some of the upward trends for this year, it's showing that really there's a dip, because essentially it's, how you do your math. He explains it much better than what I'm going to do, but I'm going to say there isn't a huge difference between the 2 Julys. However, if you're tracking in 2026, that we're moving on an upward swing. So there was some kind of dip that happened. He kind of shows where that happened in some of the winter, December, January kind of places.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm seeing his chart here. I won't bring it up per se, but I mean, essentially there was a dip from, the previous year. We definitely dipped below 0% rent growth, and now we are trending upward.
Right.
So this is potentially proving, hey, is this rock bottom, or are we going to go up and then back down again and go even deeper, into the winter months here? Yeah. We'll see. Time will tell. But hopefully we have, yeah.
Yeah, and a few different outlets and folks, were kind of tracking this upward motion. I know the Mortgage Bankers Association had some data that said, for Q2, there was year-over-year growth of 16% from where it was at, which is nice. So that's a positive. And the jump between Q1 and Q2 was like at 12%. So, it's a positive swing.
Good.
Yep.
Zero employee property management service. Holy cow. Is that impossible? Do you think that's possible?
I don't know, but what I would like to note is who is the renter that this appeals to, where they're like, "Oh, this place isn't staffed by humans at all." Awesome. Because
hey, Justin, here's the deal though. If I'm a renter and I know that going into it, and you're charging a drastically more efficient pricing, sure, why not?
Maybe. I don't know. I've seen too many robots malfunction in those kitchens and those things where they like. So just the
Totally.
actual pedestrian concept of like, oh, we're gonna go into robots. Cool. Like I don't know. I don't know if the regular average renter is there yet.
So
It has to be in a
Brad
very niche
Hargreaves,
market,
yeah.
you
So
know?
Brad Hargreaves, a thesis driven, announced earlier this week that they're building a multifamily management company with 0 full-time employees. Little caveat there. So, no one's going to be full-time on this, right? So there will be 1 or 2 humans undoubtedly, looking at any potential issues, but essentially they're trying to find a way to force humans out of the loop as quickly as possible. Brad Hargreaves has always been known for, being entrepreneurial and figuring out how he can push the limit on things. And this is a very interesting take for them. So, obviously, maintenance tickets need to be read at some point by a human. And they need to be judged and determined what's going to happen, right? I mean, that's the consensus. But at the end of the day, human will do the work ultimately. But technically, couldn't a ticket be read and then dispatched through AI to a network of 2 or 3 people who go out and bid the job? It might be more annoying if you have 2 or 3 people coming into your apartment, your home, and random times.
The short answer is yes. The problem with this model in general is that the human inputting it, the renter, has to be able to be versatile in how they get that accomplished. The same way you're doing a prompt with ChatGPT and you're like, wait, why isn't it doing it what I want? It's like, well, because you're not talking to it correctly. Until we get to a place where everyone's speaking a similar language, which I don't know. Like there are plenty of people that don't read music. You think everyone's going to read AI? I don't think so. So is everyone going to be able to put in the correct prompt correctly? Maybe. I don't know. That's the hardest part, because you have a lot of people that will say, "Oh, this is what's going wrong," and it doesn't make any sense unless a human can decode what the actual meaning is.
Makes sense to me. How about ApartmentIQ? They got some money, didn't they?
Yeah, they secured $25 million. This is in their follow-up round of funding, which is kind of exciting, which means they can do more cool things.
They passed 8 million customer units. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. That's a chunk.
Yeah. No, and they're one of those companies too where you see them growing, you hear about them, but they're not super splashy in the sense that they're not out there saying, "Oh, we're growing. They're just growing. I think that's like in terms of what I ingest in terms of marketing and news and all of that.
Yep. Sounds like they've been putting their heads down and just going to crush it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a couple of the highlights around the racetrack. There's a couple more things. I'll throw one out. Do you have anything?
I probably have something.
No pressure. But let me tell you one thing which I thought was kind of cool. So OneValet, they have a new hire, but it's an old friend. So two X-Smart co-founders are now meeting up again at OneValet. They just brought on Isaiah Day Rose Wilson. He's stepping into the chief hardware officer role. And he was the CTO back at SmartRent when he worked with Demetrius Barnes. Demetrios is now the CEO of OneValet. So they are working together again. They helped build SmartRent, and now they're going to hopefully combine forces and take OneValet to the next frontier.
Yeah. Awesome. I do have something. I saved this, and I didn't mention it earlier, but I saved the post. Matthew Kilmurray, the founder and CEO of Intrinsic Brands, also known as Apartment Geofencing, AppGeo, Curie, Hotel Geofencing, Restaurant Geofencing. He built his company back in 2019. He launched it at NMHC OpTech. And fast forward about 7 years later, he's announced that they are entered into a partnership with Griffin Wharf Partners. This is private equity. So it looks like everything's going to continue to run as is. He's going to continue his role. And then Lindsay Gallagher is going to be going to be president and integrator with their new partners at GWP. So, congratulations to the team, for everyone who's involved, especially for those who have that equity in that company. Certainly some things are going to print for you there, but, congratulations. I think that's something to be applauded, where you find a problem in the industry, you put your head down, you build a company. 7 years later, you get someone who sees the value in it, so much so that they want to continue to grow it and they're willing to pay for it. And that's awesome.
Yeah. Super exciting. Congrats. Cool.
We got a quote. What's next? Got a quote here.
Another quote of the week. Let's see who it's from. It is from Ginger Ashton. Very nice. She is the vice president of operations at Atlantic and Pacific Management. And Eric, because you won the poetry slam last year, why don't you read the quote?
Oh, of course. And by the way, Ginger just celebrated 10 years at Atlantic Pacific. True. So congratulations on a decade of crushing it. So, Justin, you're the difference, not the building, not the floor plan. You.
If I had a nickel every time my wife told me that.
Every time you make dinner, right? Every time you make dinner, honey, dinner's great, but
every time I clean the house, the house, you're like, you're doing it really well. That's a great quote. Obviously, probably intended audience is for the folks that work on site. The people that that really bring the value to a renter for their home, the maintenance teams, the leasing office, the operations and management people on site. They're really what sells a property or what retains people. It's not the fact that I'm 2 doors down from a really cool clubhouse with a great view of the baseball field. So it's very true.
Yeah, well said, Ginger.
And do we have a moment of wonder? Or anything?
So we do.
Did we even plan this show together beforehand? Barely.
We're 99 shows deep. We'll figure it out at some point.
We got to go low on 99 so that 100 looks really good.
Yeah. We'll say
it's some of that Jay Parsons math. We got to go low now.
Got to go low.
100's going to be like, wow, they were so good.
I feel like someone else, Michelle Obama says, they go low, we go high, something like that. But
she does. I don't think that relates to this, though.
It might.
We're doing both. What is this?
We'll do the moment of wonder here. I am going to get a link up for 100th show here in just a little bit for those who want to go check it out. But look, a lot of us are going to go back and doing some travel. We probably just got back from doing a little bit over the summer break here. For those of you that are winding up, I found an interesting article in USA Today that talked about some of the random things that are banned at TSA here, and get my notes up here. So
frying pans.
So hold on. I got an order here. So cordless curling irons are banned in checked baggage. I assuming that could be a weapon, or maybe you plug it in somewhere. Bowling balls absolutely banned in carry-ons. Don't bring your bowling ball with you. And unfortunately, that just adds a ton of weight to your luggage.
That changes my whole packing for a blueprint.
It ruins it. Yep. For the PBB. Yep. Cast iron cookware, specifically cast iron cookware, is banned, as opposed
stainless steel is okay. I could.
The stainless steel is okay. Cast iron.
My Le Creuset, I could bring on and I'd be fine.
You're perfectly fine. It's ceramic, right?
Cool. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Corkscrew with a blade is banned, but meanwhile, you could just bring a regular corkscrew. Did you have that
that's a big ass screwdriver, by the way. What the hell is that?
I have a screwdriver almost that long.
Yeah, I mean, I know you need them sometimes, but anyway, keep going. Sorry.
So, electronic cigarettes and vaping devices are banned in checked luggage. That one, I think, would a lot of folks now. I don't know anyone who vapes who wouldn't bring it with them. Who's not, vaping in the bathroom. I see people vaping in the aisles all the time on airplanes. I mean, it's just like insane. They're just like, yep.
Yep. Well, technically you can't do that.
Yep. A foam toy sword, because you apparently could be hiding something in there that
you could hide a real sword inside of it, but I wouldn't they catch it?
But like, how do you not catch it? How do you not catch something inside of a foam sword? Or, it was, I don't know. It's like security might mistake it for a real sword.
We have to jump to this last one. Wait, Samsung Galaxy Note 7?
Yeah, specifically that one.
That sucks for Samsung.
Is banned. I mean, they're older phones now, but yeah, remember this is when lithium batteries were blowing up in airplanes, and they realized how bad it was getting. So you're no longer allowed to have them in carry-on and checked luggage.
Right.
So you literally cannot bring it with you.
The Away luggage brand took a little bit of a hit on that.
Yeah, this is true. Screwdrivers longer than 7 inches. So, if you're working on, I know a bunch of guys who bring their tools with them. They'll fly out for the day and go do some work, and they come back. A bunch of men and women do that. And, that's tough. So they might have
to check those things.
You got to check it
if it's, outside of these parameters. So I think our big announcement for the 100th show should be that we're no longer doing multifamily. We're just going to rate checked on stuff. Like, this was awesome. Like, I just want to look at what people check and talk about it. Can that be our next 100 podcasts or newscasts or episodes? Just talk about luggage.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I think it would do really well on TikTok, honestly. Make sure that this section goes on TikTok.
I can do it.
And actually, that's a good point, because I don't think a lot of people, we don't talk about our other social medias, but we do have Instagram, TikTok. People can follow us or see some of the shorts if they don't want to be on LinkedIn.
This is true. We almost have 1,000 followers on TikTok at this point, which is always fun. Instagram, I think we're still lacking, but we'll get there at some point. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've accidentally once posted a personal thing on our TikTok page, which is always
that tracks. I'm sure
it happens.
Tracks.
It happens.
I mean, and one of these days we're going to get around to inviting people to these other things personally.
We will.
I haven't done it. I know you haven't, so we'll start actually doing that.
All right. Well, Justin, we have a lot going on for next week. We have a lot of things that we're going to announce for our 100th episode. So we'd love it if you join us for the 100th episode. You can scan this QR code right here. We're going to have a special guest next week on Friday, the 21st.
We're going to talk about some of our top favorite moments from the last 100 episodes. We'll kind of highlight some of those. Yeah, a little bit of nostalgia will be going on there. And most importantly, we're not changing the show, but there will be some changes. We're definitely going to be, you'll be able to find us a little bit easier. And we will be spreading our fingers out and announcing some new sponsors and so on and so forth. So we're very excited to leave you all with this. Please join us for the 100th episode next week, Friday the 21st. Thanks for watching.